Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Anna and I'm filming my No Pan Left Behind for July and August today. It's currently August 31st. It's a Saturday. I am filming in natural lighting again because I had the chance to film while it's still light enough outside. And also I hated the lighting in my last video. So I'm gonna have to figure out something so that it will be a little bit better, but I hope it's okay today. My No Pan Left Behind is a project I started this year, but I kind of also did it last year, but I didn't film that because I didn't film videos at the time, where I try to use all of my eyeshadows at least once throughout the year. And I'm definitely going to make it. You'll see by my numbers later on that I'm on the right track to do it, but I did also purchase some new eyeshadow palettes. So I'm just gonna talk you through those real quick first, because the thing about the No Pan Left Behind project is it's a lot easier if you have less eyeshadows. I currently have 399 eyeshadows in my entire, that's all of the eyeshadows that I have. And that is more than one eyeshadow every day. And I'm also doing the Pandos eyeshadows where I'm focusing on eyeshadows. And if you didn't see my last video, one of the eyeshadows actually took me 72, I think, uses in order for me to hit pan. So if I'm using all of those eyeshadows a lot, that means I'm not able to use all of these new ones. But having new eyeshadows in means a lot more eyeshadows to go through, but it also means a lot more new eyeshadows that are fun to try for the first time, and I had a lot of fun with my new eyeshadow palettes. So over this summer I placed a ColourPop order. I don't do that a lot. It's very expensive to get it here in Norway because I have to pay quite a lot of taxes, but I placed an order when there was a 30% off, and then I picked up so many things. I got free shipping, and then I just had to pay the taxes, and it kind of balanced it out a little bit. I feel like that's how I justify it to myself. So I bought the Star Wars Mandalorian palette, the child palette. This is just so cute. I had to have it. So this is what this one looks like. So I've been using that one, and I also, I guess the reason for my purchase or my order was the Pokemon palette. I couldn't stop thinking about it. I'm a big Pokemon fan. I've always been since I was a child. We used to play a lot with Pokemon cards, and it's just so cute, but it's so big. It has 24 eyeshadows in it, so I've been struggling with using all of these, and then some of them, these have I don't want to say bad quality eyeshadows because there are some really good ones in here, but it's not consistent with like other ColourPop, really good ColourPop eyeshadows. And there are a lot of the eyeshadows that are kind of like matte with glitter in them, and I hate those types of eyeshadows. So there are a few in here that I'm gonna struggle to use, especially this yellow. I've said it before, I don't like yellow eyeshadow, and I now have quite a lot of yellow eyeshadows throughout a few different palettes. So I mean, I need to get through them in order to hit No Pan Left Behind in all of my eyeshadows, but it's a struggle. Last one I picked up, kind of weird for being a summer purchase, but I picked up the Snow Dream palette from Odin's Eye because it's so pretty. I still have the plastic on here. I can take that off now. So this is what that one looks like. So a lot of new eyeshadows in, which means my number of eyeshadows did go up to 399. And I'm gonna pop up my No Pan Left Behind spreadsheet right here. If I just screen record, you will see it now. And this is how I track every time I use an eyeshadow for the first time. I make a little dot in a color corresponding to the month. So July was purple and August was yellow. So I'll just quickly go through the eyeshadows that I reached my goal of using all of the eyeshadows in. In July, I used up all of the Alamar Cosmetics Reina del Caribe eyeshadows. I had 3 left. I don't have that with me right here, but you know what it looks like, I think, most of you. And then I also have some Colored Rain eyeshadows from the Queen of Hearts palette that I've been using a couple of them, but I haven't used all. And they are kind of on my chopping block for the year. I also used some of my Colourpop eyeshadows. I did actually use quite a few of those, and I have them stored into Colourpop eyeshadow palettes. So I used Poodle. Oh. So this is what I do, because apparently I didn't track this one. No, I did track Poodle. It's Bratty that I didn't, and that is a orange one, and I don't have that here. Thank you. Next, I used for a look, I might have a picture of that, I don't remember. That one is also on my chopping block. I have an Odin's Eye eyeshadow, looks like this, from one of the palettes that I decluttered, but I kept this one, and I don't know how I feel about it. And yeah, that's basically it from there. And then I did also use quite a few of my Colourpop eyeshadows that I have in these 2 palettes these 2 months. So both in July and August, I've been just using quite a few of these. And the ones that are not in here at the moment, those are the only ones that I have left to use. So that's 3 from this palette and 2 from the other one. So that's just 5 eyeshadows in this Colourpop format that I haven't used yet. So I will probably be able to do that quite soon. I think maybe in September I could have both of these Colourpop palettes. I want to say blacked out, but it's not, like I do them in green background color once I've finished an entire palette. So used quite a lot of those. And then obviously I used the entire Colourpop Mandalorian The Child palette. This was very easy, very just easy shades to use. The one I'm kind of struggling with the most is the one that's called The Force. I feel like that's a bit like gritty, a little bit hard to work with, and I also don't like these shades, like the one that's called Little Frog, which is a matte with a glitter in it. I don't like those shades, but this one worked all right. I used it kind of as a outer corner type of shade, and it's fine. But I do really like the light shade in here, the like whitey gold one, and the one right here, which is actually quite similar. It's the closest kind of dupe I've found to the Alamar Cosmetics El Malecon shade that is in my Pamela's eyeshadows, which is an eyeshadow that I love. And I've always been a little bit nervous about when that one goes bad or I feel like it's too old to use. Will I have a dupe? And I haven't been able to find one, but this is at least kind of similar. And the mattes in here are really nice, so I'm glad I picked up this palette and I used all the shades in there. From my Colourpop palette, I did use most of the shades. I'm using a few of them today in this look, so let me just tell you about that one real quick. I'm using these 2 purple shades right here. And then I could have used this green because I actually haven't used that one yet. But now I'm just jumping between palettes. But I did use the green from my Juvia's Place, the Zulu palette on my lower lash line. And this look is inspired by Jessica. I will have the video where she had this look on. It was just so beautiful. I think I commented too that I need to recreate the look because it's just very, like, it's kind of a spring look, but I just really love the purple on the lid with the green lower lash line. So I think doing a look like that with this palette would be very easy because you have this green up here. I just really wanted to use the green from my Zulu palette today, and I'll show you why in a second. So as you can see, there are a lot of yellow dots because I used so many of the Pokemon eyeshadows this month because I love playing with new makeup. I just think that's so much fun. And the only palette I have not used any of the eyeshadows in so far this year is my Dose of Colors, the St. Katie Friendcation palette. And it's an easy palette to use. At least like this half of the palette is very easy, and then the black silvery type of shade is a little bit harder, and the blue is one of my absolute favorite blue eyeshadows. So I'm thinking maybe I will be using this one in December, and then I need to decide whether or not I'm going to keep it or not because it's getting kind of old. But I did see a video where Sofia Alexandra, she did a video about her oldest makeup, and she had makeup that was a lot older than this. I just feel like this is too old to use, and that's why I haven't used it at all this year. Which is, I know it hasn't gone bad or anything. I don't know why I'm like that, but that's the only one that I haven't used at all this year. So we'll see when that changes. And then I finished No Pale Left Behind on the Huda Beauty Topaz Obsessions this month. And all the other ones I had previously used, so that was, I've been using some of them, but not for the first time. And then, as I said, I wanted to use the green from my Zulu palette because it was the only shade left from this palette to use. In July and August, I have used absolutely all of the shades in this. And I already used the purple previously, but I think I used that one in these 2 months, and it's a perfect summer palette with the really bright colors. But to be honest, this is also one that I'm considering decluttering. We'll see. Okay, moving on. Juvia's Place, I was done with the other one that I have, and then I did use a lot of Lethal eyeshadows. In July, I used the last ones, and I will show you a look. I used this blue in July, and I also used the color Surge. I think that's this blue. And yeah, those two were the only ones that I had left from my Lethal eyeshadows, and I did use those. I used the last two MAC eyeshadows. I don't have them with me here either. So that was a red shade and a green humid, and I used that one in a green look. I'm gonna see if I have a picture of that. And then other than that, all of these other ones I had used previously. I love that my Natasha Denona I Need a Nude, I used all of the shades in January, and that was just done. It's all purple. All the other ones I've used a little bit here and there. And then Natasha Denona Thrill, I don't know why I haven't tracked that one before, because I know that I've used it like a lot, but it's starting to have a pretty good dip actually. But I hadn't put a mark previously, so I did now. So I don't know what happened there. Yeah, that's basically it. And then the last eyeshadow palette that I bought, I have used quite a few of the shades from here as well, but I'm still missing the purple one, and actually like all of the green ones, which is surprising because I love green eyeshadow, but I do have a lot of green in my pan those eyeshadows, so I think I need to focus on those a little more first. I haven't used this really nice like neutral shade down here. I'm looking forward to using that one. And then I haven't used these two over here, and not the red ones either. So I'm excited to use this more. But I'm definitely going to use it more when we get closer to Christmas as well. which is the perfect time to use this. I'm holding it on the wrong place. I hope you could see all the palettes that I was showing, because I might have had them. Okay, we'll see. And then I actually also started using my Decay Born to Run palette this month, because I had only used one shade from here in January, and it was at my parents' house, and I went there for a weekend, and I just decided I'm gonna stick to this palette only, and I used quite a few of the shades. But this is also a palette that is getting kind of old, and I think I'm finally maybe ready to let it go. I liked the looks that I made, but it wasn't anything special, and I have other eyeshadows that are just better at this point. But I do have a very like nostalgic feelings towards this palette, so we'll see what happens. I'm gonna No Pan Left Behind it anyway, and then we'll see what happens in the end of the year. And that's everything. And that means in July I used 27 eyeshadows, which is better than July, but still no better than June, but still not great. And at that point I had 266 out of 383 eyeshadows, and that's 69.45%. And then I got new eyeshadows, but I also used 68 of my eyeshadows, which is very good. That's my highest month, except for January, which is not surprising, because in January all of the eyeshadows that I was using for the first time, because when you start a new year, you start at 0. So every time I was doing my makeup, I was using like 3, 4, or 5 new eyeshadows. So yeah, 68 eyeshadows this month, which is really good. And that ended up with a total of 334 eyeshadows out of my now 399, which is 83.7%. And that means I don't have a lot of eyeshadows left to use for the first time before the year's up. And I will only need, how many, like 60, I think 65 eyeshadows left to use. Isn't that right? Yeah, 65, and that's like 16 or 17 new eyeshadows every month for the next 4 months, and that won't be a problem. So I'm going to update this in the end of October or beginning of November, and then I'll also update have my finale in probably beginning of January, where I will tell you all about everything that I've used and all of that. But I did want to show you some of my eyeshadow looks. Now that we're done with the spreadsheet, I do have some looks to show you with some of the eyeshadows I used for the first time. And I'm starting with this one. This is the eye look where I used the blue from my Lethal Cosmetics. This is Stargaze. And so I used it as a liner. And then on my lid, I actually, if I remember correctly, I used these 2 shades to create that really warm crease. And I had some kind of shimmer on the lid, a light gold, might have been from my Pandas eyeshadows. And it's just a very easy way to incorporate a color, or a kind of like, this could be a difficult shade to use for like everyday wear, but this is just a very like work appropriate or just more muted way to use color. And then I have this green look with my, where did it go? Mandalorian palette, and I'm pretty sure I used, I want to say most of the shades, but I definitely have this one in my crease, and I have Sipping Soup on my lid with a little bit of Little Frog in the outer corner. And then on my lower lash line, it looks like I have the Forest, but I don't. Maybe I have one of the eyeshadows from my No Pan Left Behind. No, from my Pandas eyeshadows. And I have the light shade in my inner corner. So yeah, I used a lot of the shades in this look, and this is just the type of green eyeshadow look that I just love. And then I have this goldy, what is this? Oh yeah, this was probably the first time I used my Snow Dream palette. I used this gold shade down here, and I used this lighter goldy shade in my inner corner, I think. And I used the dark brown, that's God Jul, which means Merry Christmas in Norwegian and Swedish, so that's kind of fun. And I think I used the shade Boots to like in my crease. And yeah, might also have used the brown called Feast in my crease. Very nice gold look, and I'm pretty sure I used a glitter glue to do this because it was very like liquid gold type of look. And then from my Pokemon palette, this is a look that is kind of out of my comfort zone, and my boyfriend even commented on it saying, is it supposed to go so far out? But it was just me playing around, and I think this was a Sunday, so it was just to play, and I used a lot of these shades, this one and this one, and then I used this shade over here that's called Champion, which has a very like fun sparkle through it, and probably also used this dark green down here, and I think that's everything. But how did I get that to be such a lime green color? I should start writing things like these down, and I think maybe I did, now that I think of it. This look consisted of, oh yeah, so in this look I actually used also Jelly Donut, just this one up here, and the shade Fossil in my crease. And then I used a couple of shades from my Mandalorian palette. I used this one, and I dived in a lot of palettes this day. And I used this one from my Colourpop palettes, and I think that was it. So yeah, I think I just popped the yellow on top of a green in the inner corner to get that little lime green effect. But yeah, it was a fun look. And then this blue one is using the shade Frankincense, which is a like holographic eyeshadow type of thing. And then the blue eyeshadows from this look, I'm pretty sure, are these blues over here from my Pokemon palette. And yeah, it's just, I think it looked a lot better. No, it's not the holographic one, it's this one over here. And I also used from my Colourpop palette where is it? Eyeshadows all over the place. This one from Colourpop, which I had used previously this year as well, but this is Baseline. So yeah, those were the eyeshadows I used. But in the next look, that was when I used, I need to sneeze. That is when I used the holographic eyeshadow called Frankincense, and I also in this look used I want to say I used some of the eyeshadows from here, and I got cut off because I was talking for too long. Yeah, I think I used like something like this or something blue, and then I popped the holographic eyeshadow kind of on top of that, and this look was just so much fun in real life. Let me see if I have a better picture of what this one looked like. So yeah, this is what, that is a terrible picture. This is what it looked like with the eyeshadow and I was at a festival and it was a lot of fun, and I loved my makeup that day. And that is going to be everything. I've been talking for way too long, and this is going to be a long video. Usually my No Pan Left Behind updates are quite short, but I had a lot to talk about today, so I hope you enjoy me sharing looks, even though I don't always know exactly this eyeshadows that I've been using. I feel like most people have something similar, or if you wanted to, you could recreate them. Yeah, that's all I have for you today, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you'll subscribe if you haven't already, and like and comment on this video, and let me know if you're also doing the No Pan Left Behind, because I love this project and I'm so happy that I'm getting use out of all of my now 399 eyeshadows, and no eyeshadow is being left behind, and that is amazing. So I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you later. Bye!